Good afternoon and welcome to Raptor Sports Cars. I thought what I'd do with you today is I will just spend a couple of minutes with you going through this beautiful Raptor RR180. So this car in particular was a factory built car, and although the colours and the wheels kind of represent a standard RR180, there are quite a few extras with it as well. The first being the actual cage assembly itself, and not only that, we actually did a upgrade to the chassis, basically up to CS spec, which is our Club Sport version. The colour of the car is one of our most popular colours. It's basically an azure blue, and what you have is the actual roll cage and the chassis and the front wishbones are actually powder coated grey. And to be honest with you, it's a really nice colour contrast. And not only that, you've got the actual grey stripes as well, which look very, very good. And as you can see there, just the whole wishbones assembly here, and then obviously, you know, the stripes, they follow around the side. The other thing that we did was this has got the carbon look pack on it, so it comes with a carbon arches. I'll swing around here. It's got the carbon aero screen as well. It's kind of difficult to see with this camera. And then we've got the actual front arches as well, and it actually complements it very, very well. I think it looks very, very smart, very nice. Let's go and run through some of the features of the interior assembly itself, and obviously the first thing you can see is the diamond stitch quilting, which really does kind of raise the bar a little bit inside. It's lovely, it's soft and pliable, and it actually feels really nice inside you. It's also really resilient to water, things like that. It doesn't take much, you just a quick wipe and it brings it up nice and clean. Obviously we've got this dash assembly again, it's part of the carbon look, so we've got all this as well here. As I say, just getting back to the CS, where it's more track focus, we have sort of brake bias there. We just have a little oil pressure gauge there, which, you know, just basically just keeps you in touch with exactly what's happening with that engine. And then we just have our basic switches, which is your fog and your hazards. It's a push button start system over here, so that's fine. And one of the features with this R1 is it's got 3 different engine maps, so you can either cycle them here from a wet map, a road map, and basically a race map. Let's just go and give you a little view from the driver's side. So obviously, you know, the first thing that meets you, obviously steering wheel, lovely suede. You've obviously got, you know, your little yellow tab there, so you know roughly where you are. Detachable steering wheel, a must, to be honest with you. Right, paddles, so there you go. That's plus, and obviously down, so you can quite literally upshift and downshift to the paddles. And another thing that we did with this car was we actually fitted it with a flat shifter system. So basically, in short, without getting too technical, is you can just keep your foot flat on the accelerator, and every time you touch this pedal here, what that does, it just up changes for you, and you don't need to lift your foot. So if you can imagine, you know, acceleration wise, you don't need to kind of put the clutch in and then hit the thing. It's almost instant. Let's go and have a look at this dash assembly. So obviously here, first thing, rev count of 15,000. Doesn't quite go that far, but it's not far off it. Rev limiter is about 14,250. 14,250 in first gear gets you just over the 70-mile-an-hour mark, so you can kind of just break the speed limit in first if you really wanted to do. Obviously you've got various switches here, so neutral. It also tells you when you lower fuel. You have a clock, and the other thing as well is it will also give you instant fuel consumption, average fuel consumption, and not only that, fuel left in the tank. You've also got a programmable shift light, and just here as well you've got a gear indicator as well. So, you know, it's a really good system. You know, it kind of gives you all sorts of feedback as well. Super bright, reliable. And not only that, you know, rather than sticking an aftermarket dash in it, and I'm not, you know, there's some fabulous units on there, but the beauty about this system is it's Yamaha's. If there's a fault with it, it just spits out a fault code. Go on the internet, get the number and fix it. It's as easy as that. And one of the finishing touches to this fantastic machine was some carbon tillet seats with basically some 6-point harnesses as well, you know, so that you know, and they really are very, very comfy, absolutely fantastic. And you know, they're obviously quite light as well, so that just keeps the power to weight ratio up. The other thing as well here you'll see is just the actual sidebars of the cage. One thing that we try and do is you as a person is just to try and keep you in an enclosed cockpit where you're kind of safe, and certainly our theory is that just by putting the bars out like this, if you ever have a side impact, then at least the only thing it's going to do is it's going to kind of just deflect whatever's coming, whatever you've hit or hit you away from your cockpit. So you know, we think that's a very good idea. And then obviously you have this additional strength here as well. All our cage material is popper roll cage tubing as well, so you know, we'll just try and do that. Wheels wise, 13s copper motives, basically best handling, and obviously, you know, the lightest as well. There's not much torque in that engine, so we'll try and help. And then what we do in the back is, just because you know, we're running quite a big horsepower unit, we're running 8-inch wide rims on the back. It just gives you a better footprint, a little bit better traction offline, and obviously limited slip differential as well. And then if I just take you around the back here, we've just got all our aero pack on there as well, which kind of smoothens it all up, and it's all flat bottom, so you know, you've got no drag or anything. Right, so let me just go and show you around this power unit. So as I said, Yamaha R1, it's not quite 1000cc. Basically I think it's about 95 foot-pounds of torque. We're 180 horse out of them. As I say, maximum rev limit is 14,250. So inside here there is 4 additional injectors. We call them shower injectors, and this here is the actual pipe that feeds the fuel into them. So around about 9,000 revs, these additional shower injectors come in, and they basically put additional fueling down the actual throttle bodies themselves. So that really does improve the top end performance of this bike engine. There is also inside here, as well as on a linkage assembly, there basically is additional trumpets in here, and these slide up and down, and obviously, you know, trumpet lens kind of improve torque or top end, basically depending on whether they're long or they're short, so that really helps it as well. All our bike engines, we modify the engines extensively, and we run them on an electric water pump with basically a digital controller. And that just helps the whole thing, keeps cool. We use a thick core aluminium radiator as well, so that kind of helps with the cooling. This particular one, what we did with this one was we just put a power commander on it, and obviously, you know, this has allowed us, you know, we can tune it more for performance as well, basically on top of that. Future upgrades, should you really need any, we have a stage 1 tuning kit. That's about 190 horse, and then we have a stage 2, which is stage 1 plus an exhaust system, and they tend to be about 201, 202, just basically depending on fuel. So, you know, and as I say, you know, they really do go very, very well. As I say, we love them. We absolutely think that they're absolutely fantastic. IVA point of view, which is, as we all know, is a big problem now. And these Yamaha Big Bangs, they really do fly through no problem. You don't have much issues with them at all, to be honest with you. But as I say, this has got the racetrack system on it just now, so we're okay with that. But yeah, great units, guys.